This here's a look at 4K video from the main cameras on both of these devices, and then switching over to the ultra-wide cameras as well. As you can see, the iPhone does have a wider field of view with its ultra-wide camera, which is kind of nice. One of the areas in which Google's phones have always lagged behind is with video capture, especially from the front-facing camera. And that's definitely evident in this comparison, where the iPhone 12 has the clear advantage with its 4K video capture at 60 FPS versus the Pixel 5a's 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now you're getting 4K 30 FPS from the iPhone, but not from the Pixel 5a. That's 1080p at 30 frames per second. And then finally, this is 4K video from the main sensors on both of these devices. Definitely even a lot better than what you get out of the ultra-wide cameras, especially in low light situations like this.
From what I see, they're both realistically 1-to-1. The only difference I can see that really stands out is just the color reproduction. The Pixel is leaning more towards the warmer tones, and the iPhone looks like it's leaning towards the cooler tones. Now, that's not to say one's better than the other, it just comes down to personal preference. Putting color aside, as I've said, they both look fantastic. You can't go wrong with either of these two cameras. Moving over to the ultra-wide, the iPhone does have a 12 megapixel f2.4 aperture lens, and the Pixel does have a 16 megapixel f2.2 ultra-wide lens. The main differences that I could spot with the ultra-wide, again, is basically just the color and the actual contrast. But that's kind of weird because in some shots, the iPhone has more contrast, and in other shots, the Pixel 5a has more contrast. Now, this next test is a little unfair. I know. The iPhone does have a 2.5 times optical, and the Pixel A or 5a only has a 2x digital zoom. But honestly, guys, I don't really see that big of a quality difference. They both look fantastic. Pixel did a great job with zooming in digitally, even though it's only 2 times, but still. Photos, I am using an ultra wide using night mode. It was taken around 9 p.m. When it comes to detail, basically both are identical, but the one thing that kind of drew my eye over to the Pixel was that lens flare. I kind of wish that there wasn't any lens flare. In fact, iPhone is the one that's supposed to have lens flare, and in this photo, it doesn't. Weird how that works, huh? But either way, yeah, let me know which one of these two photos you guys prefer. The story is similar with these two photographs. This is using the 1X, so the main camera. You don't really get the lens flare, but you do get like a washed out look with a little bit of flare to it, but not as bad as the ultra wide. The sky definitely looks a lot more blue than it really was. I think the sky is a little bit more accurate to how the iPhone portrayed it. But again, hey, people have different likes and dislikes, so maybe you guys like that kind of style. Again, as always, let me know. Now, in this photo, the thing that drew my eye was definitely the Pixel again, but this time for a good thing. The tree in the foreground is sharper. Now, it may not look at it, or it may not look like it on a YouTube video, but I'm looking at this from a 5K monitor and I'm zoomed in. Yeah, it's definitely sharper. The grass is sharper. Everything is sharper. But if you look at the tree on the right-hand side in the background, it is a little hazed over on the Pixel.